More reaction now. Go live to New York and speak to An Wentzel, a South African Daily Maverick journalist based in New York and joining us live now. Anne, thank you so much for your time tonight. So I was hearing there in the background the honking of horns. A lot of excited people in New York because it was always a pro-Biden city and state.
No, absolutely. You'll know that it voted Biden got New York. But also you can see behind me, and steadily, while I've been waiting to cross to you, this crowd has grown bigger and bigger. It's Columbus Circle right behind me, just outside of Central Park, well, one corner of it. And there is also a subway crossing station here. So people have been coming up from the subway, obviously by train, to join and make this kind of circle bigger, if you will. Also behind me, let me see if I can show you. We've also got this group of quite senior citizen activists. Can you see them in these guys here? They are with Vocal New York. So they're, of course, very pleased at the outcome. You can see some of their signs over here. Sign says, Mr. Trump, if I've only got a few words for you, you're fired.
And, of course, you're fired, a play on Donald Trump's famous line from The Apprentice, Anne. And he was based in New York for quite a while. And one wonders what it is about Trump specifically that the people of the city dislike so much, if you will.
Look, I don't know how much you know about the history of the Trumps in New York. They had a lot of real estate in New York. I mean, they're known for being real estate millionaires and heirs. And he and his dad famously would not rent to black people in New York. So, you know, that's one of the big things. And, of course, Trump is just really, he's not a person of the people. New York, I mean, just looking around here, the diversity, the ages, the people in New York are people-centered. And there's a huge immigrant community. Of course, some of them now second immigrants, but we never forget where we came from. So, I mean, right this minute, or a little bit earlier today, we heard that Donald Trump was actually on the golf course. So, you know, that's what he was doing. So there's that. And he's just been a very unfriendly president with his policies and with his attitude. So I think, that's where it is for New Yorkers.
You mentioned the immigrant link to the city of New York. You yourself, a South African, currently based in New York for the Daily Maverick. And as we reflect on the end now of a Trump presidency, one of the biggest blots, if you will, on his track record, his history in office will be the treatment of immigrants. We saw the separation of some immigrant mothers from their children, some said to have been lost in the system. There was the issue of that border wall between the United States and Mexico. So the immigrant community in the United States will also have very strong feelings about a Biden victory, won't it?
Okay, so about that, I mean, that was actually a policy. That was actually a policy to separate kids from their parents. And just very quickly about me, I actually got stuck here when our borders closed, unfortunately. I'd come out here to visit family, and then 28th of March, lockdown. So here I still am. So it's interesting that you say that, because I feel some of the displacement that immigrants feel being in kind of a hostile space with Donald Trump as president, because prior to Donald Trump being the president, when I visited New York and indeed the U.S., I did not have that feeling of kind of being unwelcome and capital in this particular country. So I think that sense of relief that immigrants feel, I kind of echo that, even not as an immigrant, just as someone who is here, but not from here, if that makes any sense.
All right, An Wentzel, a South African journalist, giving us reaction now live from the streets of New York, where people have poured out onto the streets on that breaking news that Joe Biden will become their 46th president of the United States.